Today we're going to make a seam ripper, modified seam ripper. This is your standard seam ripper, and we're going to take and modify it to start with. We're going to cut the plastic section, clear plastic section of it off to about 1 inch, making sure we leave the serrated end on there, and we'll need measuring device, a 25/64 drill bit, a pen blank or 3/4 by 3/4 by 5 to 6 inch long piece of wood, some thick CA glue, a ferrule if you want to use one. It's really not necessary. I have a bunch of them laying around here, so I'm going to put one on, and some type of measuring device, a skew, a spindle gouge, Jacob's chuck, and a chuck in the headstock to hold the blank of some type. I'm going to use one with a set of pin jaws on it. We're going to turn it down, drill it out, put the ferrule on it, glue the plastic piece in it, and assemble it. And theoretically, I'm going to try to turn this with not much yapping. The hole we're going to drill the hole approximately 2 inches deep. That should be more than enough to insert that in with no problem at all. After that, we'll get her all finished and assembled and we'll be done. So hopefully this will be the last time you hear from me until we're all done. I forgot to mention, when we cut this off, some people just use a little hacksaw blade to cut it off, put it in a vise and cut it off. I just made a little jam chuck that I put them on and just part them off with a skew. You can do it any way you want. Just make sure the hole on both ends is clean, so that the little blue part right here fits in this end without any problem, because that's the way it'll stow in the handle. All right, moving right along. put a little glue on it to hold it. There's really not that much stress on it, but it's a good idea to put it on anyway. And then I usually take my center punch, give it a couple little pops. This is just starting a pilot hole is all. Guess you gotta tighten up the drill chuck, huh? There we go. Do some sanding and get a finish on it, then we'll come back and do the assembly. I'm just going to do a quick friction polish on it now. This is Triple E Ultra Shine. That gives it a little bit of shine before you put the finish on it. just going to take some wood turners friction polish and put it on it. It's not too bad for a quick little finish. It'll last long enough. Now I'm going to part it off and we'll do an assembly then. I like to use a skew because it doesn't leave much of a problem in the back. You can hit it with your sandpaper. Smear a little finish on it. And you're basically done with it. Now we're gonna super glue this in here, just like that, and it'll be done. And be back in a minute. You gotta let the glue dry before you put the little blue in. Glue's all dried. Here we are done. This is in the stowed position. How you'd keep it in your sewing basket or whatever. And when you want to use it, you just turn it around like that. And it's ready to go. I mentioned to drill this hole with 25/64. Be sure to measure this plastic. I've had them come up as much as 3/64 different size. So just make sure of the size the plastic is before you drill the hole. There's a quick little 15-minute project. Didn't take time at all. This ferrule's not really required. There's not much pressure on it. I just had a bunch of them that I picked up fairly cheap, so I use them on small things like this. When you buy these, I bought a whole box of them off of eBay. I paid like 80 cents a piece for them. If you go over to Walmart or sewing store or something, you're gonna pay $4 or $5 a piece for them. So I bought 100 of them, and this is a gadget I use to cut the plastic off. I just put down there like that and then just part it off with a skew right here. That's the length I need. That's just lazy way to do things for me. All done.